Alex. Of course, Kai. Crazy dog. Hello, Americans. I can't even walk, dude. Another friend, subscribers around the world. Thank you, man. Darn, breeze a little chilly. As you can see, man, ended up waking up to about, I don't know, 4 inches of snow. We ended up staying up later last night than we normally do, watching a series of stuff, and then when I went to it, so I ended up going to bed about 10, which is pretty late for this old hillbilly. Ended up going to bed around 10, and it wasn't even spitting snow or nothing, you know, and they were predicting it. And actually, they were putting out that we were under whatever it is, severe weather watch or whatever. We're supposed to get all this snow. I didn't really think much of it, and got up this morning, like I said, probably 4 inches is what we got. Just enough to agitate you. And then it's not supposed to be, the sun's supposed to pop out this afternoon. It's supposed to get cold now. It's supposed to get cold for the next, you know, like I said, I always say, it's always just predictions. But the next 10 days or whatever, we're supposed to get, we have a week of, you know, even the days highs aren't above freezing and stuff, so it's supposed to get cold. Which this snow, all that does is put 4 more inches. And then if the sun comes out, and today I think it's like 35 or something, so it'll melt it a little bit, and then it'll just turn into more ice. So this morning, along the, I've actually been the last, I did the video yesterday. What was yesterday's video? Was that the feed video? I don't even know. They all run together. But I did a video. Oh no, yesterday I read the letters and stuff, so it wasn't really on the feed. But, whew, which I got another letter from that gal too. But anyway, I actually got quite a few, I call them letters, but you know, emails. I'm an old timer, man. So anyway, yesterday, I don't know what I talked about yesterday, that really don't matter. But today, I'm just going to talk a little bit. It's funny how things just run together, you know. So our son, Kevin D, you know, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. But if you've been here, you know our son. He's been on here a lot, and he got two bachelor degrees, one in natural resources and one in wilderness conservation. That's it. Did I say it on accident even? And anyway, you know, man, I'm proud of our boy, obviously. Man, great stuff, man. He's so knowledgeable, that dude. Man, Kevin can take you out here and tell you every weed, blade of grass, tree, bush, you know, he can just identify and tell you, and he'll tell you the science names of it, so then you're going, Anyway, he's actually at a, what do you call it? I guess it's a conference. There you go. I guess it's a conference. But he is at a conference right now. And he called us yesterday at his lunch. And just talking. And all of a sudden he comes up with the conference that day, what they were learning in the conference, you know, because this is all along natural resources and conservation and, you know, wilderness stuff. And he's telling us that the thing that they were learning, or one of the things that they'd went into, was talking about cattle grazing and, you know, farm animal grazing, you know, whether it be hogs, whatever. Kai, stop. And no, actually, see, I'm lost, man. This freaking dog's driving me nuts. No, because it wasn't along the feed. What they were talking about or learning was the fields, you know, and they, you know, whether it be they spray it with the Roundup, Monsanto, or whatever, these fields, you know, whether it be corn or grain. Kai, stop. Corn, grain, you know, whatever they're growing, you know, they go through, they harvest it, and then what is not harvested, you know, what's left on the ground or whatever, is turned into mulch. And then they bag up that mulch and sell it at the box stores. And then if you remember back last year, I never did a video or anything on it. I'm gonna kill this dog, dude. I'll show you how you take care of this. So, talking about, you know, so last year, sorry, man. Whew, squirrel. Too much going on. So they're talking about, you know, then they mulch it, they bag it up. And if you remember last year, there was a big, huge thing. And there was a bunch of videos on YouTube and stuff about it. People saying that they'd got mulch and put mulch in their gardens, you know, in their garden beds and around their plants, and it killed them, you know. And that's what they were talking about, is because you go out here, you know, say my meadow out here, you know, I'm out there, I got Timothy grass out there. So you know, and I'm spraying it, you know, and I planted it, you know, using the GMO crap, and harvest off, you know, bell up what I want to use. Well, hello. Harvest up what I want to use, bell it up, whatever, and then decide to, you know, clean up the rest, you know, the bottom of the barrel stuff, turn it, you know, or I guess you turn it into mulch, and then, you know, pick it up, bag it up, and take it in and distribute it out at the box stores and sell it as mulch. Well, dude, all them pesticides and all that crap that you're spraying in it, and all the crap that's coming from the sky, and all this has, it's just producing a poison. So I'd be careful about buying that mulch crap at them dang box stores this year, because I think it's only going to get worse. And it was, like I said, man, I don't know how much of that you pay attention to, but I just found it very interesting, because then I'll get to where we went with that conversation. Very interesting that here I am, you know, talking about the feeds, you know, or we're talking about the feeds and going around this and all that, and my boy, you know, is down at a conference. I guess that's what it is. It was a conference. Today they're doing a bunch. They got sidetrack, squirrel. Today he said there was going to be, to me it's like a flea market, but they're going to have, he's going in to look at displays, you know, and people selling different stuff, and I don't know what you call all that crap, but the whole day's going to be, you know, looking at people's stuff, listen to their, you know, there'll probably be equipment there, and, you know, poisons, you know, they're producing poisons and all this. But I just found it interesting. Sometimes when I go off on these, my mind goes off on this other one. Sometimes I drive myself nuts. Get to the point, boy. So I just found it interesting that here we are up here talking in a similar, you know, thing about feed and stuff like that, and then here's my boy, you know, a couple hundred miles away in a class, and they're talking and stuff similar to that, you know. And this is like state or I think it's state stuff, because he works for the state, so state stuff that they're teaching. I don't know if the feds were in there teaching it or not. I'll get more information on the class later. So then we're talking, and, you know, we just start talking about it and kind of tell them about the, you know, the feeds and what we heard and this and that and all that stuff. And we start talking about the rabbits, you know, and the chickens. So then he pops off with, well, think about it. If you're feeding them rabbits commercial feed from the stores, which, and I've switched now, but I was feeding them a Timothy grass. Well, dude, that Timothy grass, you know, if it was sprayed, and, you know, unless it's some organic, you know, and that doesn't, just because they put organic on it, don't really mean crap. It's not protecting you. So then you're feeding your rabbits, or your goats, or your sheep, or whatever, you're feeding them commercial feed. And you think, you know, because rabbits and goats and sheep, man, basically they, you know, what goes in this side, you know, man, better just to let them all graze out here. You know, that's in the springtime and everything. Well, this year I'm working on getting away from the commercial feeds completely. But anyway, so what goes in this side, what comes out their hindquarters is pretty much the best quality mulch dirt that, you know, I mean, it's straight out of their hindquarters, man. It is, and it is good fertilizer. Chicken feed, not, or chicken crap, or whatever you want to call it, you know. It's hot, so you gotta be careful with chickens. But the point is, so if you feed these guys commercial stuff, you know, and I've got my bin down here where I catch the, you know, catch what's coming out the hindquarters to use, and my plan's to use it over here in the garden, you know, over there in the garden and everything like that. But what the hell's in the feed I'm feeding them? So am I doing the same thing? Is that going to poison my garden, you know, my stuff? So then in turn I'm turning around and eating that poison? Holy crap, dude. Same with the chickens, you know, man. If you're feeding them that commercial stuff, you know, and you're eating the eggs, and then you're using the, you know, the manure, the chicken crap for fertilizer. Dude, it's just a big ass circle, man. Dude. That's really, man, I ain't got a lot on the stuff. I've really spent, I think it was last night, and then this morning, reading and watching a few videos and stuff, you know, on this big powers be meeting they're having right now. Jeez. You know, man, we'll touch that real fast, you know. It's just like, just because these sons of bitches have all this money, they ain't no king. You know, they ain't a god, even though they think they're gods. Bill Gates of the world, and forget whatever that dude's name is. Then I was reading something that his mentor was Kissinger or something. I mean, oh Lord, dude. And this elite crap's been going on for a long time. You know, and what, just because they have money, man, they're not elected, they're not appointed, they are just self-righteous people that think because they have money that they rule the world. I don't think so. It's not the way it's intended. That's it, dude. That's where I'm at today, man. I just wanted to touch on that. I just found it interesting that, you know, he's down there listening or learning. You know, and I think the whole thing really was on is it horticulture conference is what I think it was, or convention. That's what I think it was. But oh man, I've got, you know, man, I love your messages and stuff. Well, for the most part, of course, there's always the idiots out there. You know, there's block and delete, baby, block and delete. Don't even waste your time, because it really ain't worth it. It don't faze me in the least. But like I said yesterday and today, right now I'm getting ready to clean off this pile of wood and saw up some more wood. I definitely want to get the snow off there before it turns to ice. And I was going to go up and check out some other, I got a line on some other feed, local stuff. Just, you know, I've talked about it before in the things too, is, you know, I share this 10 or 20 minutes, 30 minutes with you a day. You know, I know a lot of people like me to have a camera on my shoulder all the time, but there's a lot that goes on in this day besides just the 10, 20, 30 minutes, you know, and there's a lot, like I said, man, there's a lot of people out there watching, listening and stuff that there's information or things that I'm doing or trying or thinking about doing, whatever, that I won't share on the YouTube because you just don't know who's watching. And if I end up coming up with, you know, some crazy hillbilly thing that nobody had really thought of, man, I ain't putting it out there because that's like shooting myself in the foot. So please remember to like, subscribe, and share. It helps keep the lights on, the home fires burning, and them propane tanks, fool. Guess we're going to be just doing some shoveling. I don't know if I'm going to fire up the tractor today. It's not too much. We'll see. But check out the links below, man. The Patreon and the eBay store and other stores and other links and the t-shirts and decals. All that jazz, man. Good Lord willing. And them creeks don't rise. We'll be back again tomorrow. See ya.